Championship upsets seldom arrive with fireworks. More often they creep into the garage disguised as paperwork. And this week's Spanish Grand Prix is one of those moments, because a slim technical bulletin, just a handful of sentences, orders every team to stiffen the front wing that first slices the air at more than 300 kilometers per hour, trimming permitted deflection by 5 millimeters and threatening to shift 0.3 of a second per lap, enough to fracture the balance of power we witnessed over the opening 8 races and recast McLaren's papaya steamroller, Ferrari's frustrated renaissance, Mercedes' quiet persistence, and Red Bull's lurking menace by Sunday evening. Engineers describe the directive as a butterfly, flapping its carbon fibre wings that could summon a hurricane of order sheet revisions, while strategists whisper that even the most disciplined simulation models cannot predict the compound effects once airflow skims differently over tyre sidewalls, brake ducts and diffuser strakes. So keep watching, because the answer to who lifts the trophy in Abu Dhabi may be written in Barcelona's sun-baked tarmac. Technical Directive 018 becomes law the instant the pit lane light turns green for Friday practice, trimming the permitted vertical deflection of every front wing element from 15mm to 10mm under a 1000 Newton load, and adding stiffer lateral checks to stop teams twisting the structure for free straight line speed, a response to slow motion footage from Melbourne and Suzuka that showed leading edge flaps flexing like reeds, flattening on the straights, then arching under braking. Behaviour worth 0.3 per lap that rivals branded unfair. The new load protocol also forces teams to demonstrate compliance at multiple yaw angles, meaning cleverly articulated joints that once passed when probed head-on must now survive side pulls. And design offices have scrambled to add 400-gram internal ribs without upsetting carefully balanced mass targets under the sport's cost cap, because the front wing steers airflow toward the floor. Stiffening it can raise tyre temperatures by several degrees Celsius, upset energy recovery balance, and flip degradation curves, so a rule that looks like bureaucratic trivia could yank seconds of performance from one car while gifting the same prize to another. And Barcelona's fast, loaded right-handers will make any weakness impossible to hide. McLaren arrives in Catalonia with 319 points, 172 more than anyone else, and 6 victories from the first 8 Grands Prix, 4 by Oscar Piastri and 2 by Lando Norris. Yet replays from Albert Park showed their papaya front wing feathering slightly on the main straight, a movement legal under the old 15mm tolerance, but now in TD018's crosshairs. So while team boss Andrea Stella calls their Barcelona nose a routine calibration, insiders note it is the 3rd specification rushed through in 6 weeks, and that the composites department ran 24-hour shifts to meet freight deadlines. If the new stiffer assembly generates unexpected drag, the Woking cars will need to earn track position through wheel-to-wheel combat, an art scarcely practiced this year, and a 0.2 deficit across 56 laps equals an 11-second loss, enough to drop a leader into the turbulence of a rival's wake, while software gurus warn that even small drag increases can shift battery deployment windows and force an extra downshift on the run to turn 1. Ferrari spent winter proclaiming that the SF25 would fight everywhere, yet an awkward start left Charles Leclerc with only 1 Grand Prix podium in Jeddah, and Lewis Hamilton salvaging pride with sprint race heroics. But team principal Fred Vasseur played the long game, pouring weeks of Maranello wind tunnel time into a front wing designed from day one for the tougher 10mm test. Aerodynamic chief Enrico Cardile oversaw a novel multi-layer spar that retains rigidity without excess weight, and correlation runs on the Fiorano. Straights suggest drag has fallen fractionally despite the added stiffness. So Hamilton's Shanghai sprint victory and Miami 3rd place proved the car responds when grip is scarce. And if this new wing brings even a small step in efficiency, both red machines could leap from fringe podium finishers to genuine winners. A prospect Leclerc embraces as Paddock rumours hint that some rivals will feel the clampdown far more than Ferrari, while Hamilton quietly studies timing data that shows the SF25 already matches McLaren in low-speed traction. Walk through hospitality on a Thursday night, and every team tells a different horror story. Mercedes engineers hint Red Bull's lower flap needs a titanium spine. Williams mechanics swear McLaren's junction plate will fail the new twist test. Alpine jokes. Any front wing rule finally pushes them ahead of Haas. And Aston Martin claims its own design was rock solid from day one. Yet no one provides proof, because flex is devilishly hard to police in real time. The moment the car slows, the carbon fibre springs back, breeding conspiracy theories that the directive will punish outfits least expected or target only frontrunners. And while timing screens will deliver the first verdict on Friday afternoon, teams caught in disarray may be sandbagging. Those bragging of compliance could mask desperation. And in Barcelona's crucible, truth always burns through bravado, a dynamic heightened by the cost cap's unforgiving accounting. An extra front wing mould can swallow €200,000, so whispers about who had money left to react have become almost as fevered as gossip over aerodynamic tricks. Oscar Piastri tops the drivers' standings, with Lando Norris slicing the gap to single digits after Monaco. Max Verstappen lurks roughly 25 points back. And Lewis Hamilton sits fourth thanks to sprint race gains. But strategists calculate that if McLaren loses just 0.2 per lap, their papaya rockets will fall into traffic after the first pit stops. And Barcelona's long pit lane makes the undercut fragile. So a slick-shod Ferrari or Mercedes released into clean air could leapfrog on pure outlap pace. And extend that scenario over Silverstone's sweeping arcs, or Spa's 7-kilometre roller coaster, and the constructors' gap. 172 points today shrinks quickly, turning Woking's dream season into damage limitation, forcing Piastri and Norris into direct combat, inviting Hamilton to chase an 8th crown, while Leclerc hunts his first and adding Verstappen's relentlessness to create a 4-way dogfight, while spreadsheets show that even a modest drag penalty will cost McLaren 8 kilograms of extra fuel at Monza, narrowing strategic options further and compounding tyre wear on circuits where every kilogram counts. 2021 saw rear floor edges trimmed by 50mm, and Red Bull hunted down Mercedes only for a later tyre pressure directive to flip momentum. 2019's ban on a television camera duct sank midfield darlings and propelled Williams to surprise podiums. Go back to 2006 and note how the mass damper prohibition stalled Renault's charge, while 2017's sudden curtailment of shark fin engine covers reshuffled the early pecking order. And in each case, team principals dismissed the threat until first practice exposed reality. So TD018 could replicate that script on a grander scale because the front wing orchestrates every aerodynamic note downstream. Stiffen it, and vortex generators shift. Barge boards inhale dirtier flow, underfloor tunnels lose pressure, diffusers stall sooner, and a tiny stall at 200 km per hour can cascade into tyre overheating and energy recovery imbalance, which is why seasoned figures like Toto Wolff brand Spain, a knife edge weekend, and Fred Vasseur dares to call it a potential game changer, while aerodynamic historians remind us that a mere slit in the floor or a 2mm step in the plank once decided entire championships. 20 cars, 10 freshly stiffened front wings, one small but ruthless technical directive, and a championship balanced on the brink. Barcelona offers a sporting experiment no wind tunnel could replicate. The instant the green light releases them for first practice, the timing beams will lay bare who designed on the knife edge and who built in margin. And if McLaren's papaya rocket remains untouchable, the momentum could carry all the way to Yas Marina. Yet if Scarlet creativity in Maranello truly unlocks free downforce, the second half of 2025 may belong to the prancing horse. While Mercedes eyes opportunity, Red Bull plots a late-season ambush. And the midfield senses the rare scent of an upset. Engineers will spend sleepless nights tweaking ride height maps. Strategists will redraw pit windows on coffee-stained spreadsheets. And every driver will brake a fraction later into turn one, searching for proof that the numbers still add up. Because sometimes the biggest plot twist in Formula One is not a daring overtake or a late race rain shower, but a line of regulatory text about 5mm of flex. So as engines fire on Sunday afternoon, remember that Barcelona could be the hinge on which the entire season swings, that a single corner may rewrite the standings, and that when the checkered flag falls, the sport we thought we understood might feel entirely new, leaving all of us, teams, drivers and fans, racing into the unknown together. And perhaps, years from now, we will look back at this weekend's modest-sounding bulletin as the spark that lit a legendary rivalry. The moment when hidden carbon fibres decided destinies and proved once again that in Formula One, the grandest dramas often start with the smallest measurements.